Good morning, everyone. Welcome to WHCC's Sunday service. I hope you all had a nice week. Today we will be singing Give Thanks First. And if everyone could look at the screen, because we haven't got the last chorus included on this sheet. So, all right. Good job, everyone. For our next song, we'll be doing For the Beauty of the Earth. Please join me.
God Good morning, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Woodland Hills Community Church. You may notice I'm not Pastor Craig. He's on vacation this week, so I am here. And together we will do this wonderful Sunday service together with beautiful music. And our guest preacher, we welcome Reverend Jim Morandi, who is going to be with us to give us our message this morning. And we're so glad to have him. Pastor Craig will be back with us next Sunday. For those of you that don't know, I'm Julie Lindsay. Also, hi. Hi. Hello, everybody. For those of you that don't know much about Woodland Hills Community Church, there are 3 parts that are very important to us in our identity. We are a just peace congregation, we are a progressive church, and we are an open and affirming church. If you put these parts together, you get a church that proclaims a gospel that says together, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. And now I invite those who are able to stand and join me for the call to worship. To see the life that teems around us.
To give thanks for the gift we have received.
To notice the beauty of fall.
To breathe deeply of the season.
To accept the gift of love and to love in return.
This is to worship God.
Please join me now please join Gracie as we sing together our opening song, We Worship You, God. Hello, this works better, doesn't it? Okay. At this time, we would love to have the children come forward. Are they here? Oh, there you are. For the children's time, and our Children and Youth Minister, Director Marshall Mills. As they come in, let us sing a verse of This Little Light of Mine.
It is so wonderful to be with you this Sunday. And I mean, look at all the children. Fortunately, sadly, I know that you are disappointed to only see me here, but I love seeing your smiling faces. This weekend is Pilgrim Pines, and so my hope is that most of the kids are actually still away eating apple pie and having a great time. I'm hoping to see some pictures and to share those with you next week. But I am still here, and I'm going to invite you guys to join with me in your inner child, right? Okay, so this past week was Yom Kippur. Does anybody know what Yom Kippur is? Show of hands. That's okay, I'm a teacher, I'm gonna teach you. So Yom Kippur is the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, and it translates to the Day of Atonement or forgiveness. And what the people are invited to do, literally, is to go and ask people for forgiveness. Friends, colleagues, siblings, family members, and then, of course, most importantly, God. And so this week in Sunday school, and I was told I may have two over there now, we're going to talk a little bit about forgiveness. I don't know about you guys, but forgiveness makes me happy, and I am a pretty cool person. So in this jar, I have collected people who have wronged me, that every time they've wronged me, and I am putting it in this happiness jar because I am fabulous. So, yeah, it's been a year, but, look at this jar. I can look at it, and I can know that I am a good person. I am the best possible Marshall that I can be. And I have given everything, committed it to God and to forgiveness. Okay, so something's troubling my spirit now. Maybe the fact that there's some things that I'm holding on to. Don't you hate it when the Spirit convicts? So there are two more things that I need to forgive. This one. Okay, I apologize, but I didn't do it. But I'm going to share this story with you. When I was young, I had two little brothers, and brothers are just weird, right? And so they were kind of wrestling and jumping on and off the bunk beds, and I'm the oldest and, the perfect child, and I'm like, guys, you have to stop that. And so they wrestled me, and they tackled me down, and they were laughing, and they thought it would be funny if one of them farted in my face. But I'm going to let that go. Okay. And then there's this one. Okay, so then there's this one. This is when I was so excited to come home and have the leftover slice of sweet potato pie. Now, my house is a pumpkin pie house, but I'm not, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, but I have a Southern family. So I buy sweet potato pie for me. They have pumpkin, I have sweet potato. And this one weekend, my daughter decided, you know what? I think this is the weekend I like sweet potato pie, right? And they are not easy to find in Los Angeles, but I'm gonna let that go. So this is the time that I want to hold on to this one. Because we have moments like that, don't we? Does anybody just have, you don't have to share it, I'm not going to ask you to come up and atone in public, but does anybody just have something that they can't help but hold on to? And if I'm calling this my happiness jar, and it looks really good, but is it full? It's not full. I'm holding on to something. So this week, symbolically in your head, between you and our Creator, I am not asking you to go physically to somebody and say, that thing you did, I forgive you. But I want you to consider that your happiness is not complete if you're holding on to something. Thank you guys so much.
Wasn't that wonderful? Yeah. I always get, it's like a second message, you know? And it gets you right here, and you think, maybe for the kids, but I got it too. As we prepare to receive today's message, now's the time for us to take 2 minutes of silent prayer or meditation. Amen. There are many ways in which God speaks to us. One is through a time of silent prayer, as we have just done. Another way is through beautiful music. This morning, Gracie will share a piece of lovely music with us.
Hi everyone. So this song is called No Weapon, and it's a song that me and my dad often play at home. It's one of our favorites, so today I thought I'd share it with you. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. I say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. God will do what He said He would do. He will stand by His word, and He will come through. God will do what He said He would do. He will stand by His word, and He will come through. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. God will do what He said He would do. He will stand by His word, and He will come through. God will do what He said He would do. He's not the man that He should lie. He will come through. Say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and it won't work. No weapon.
I'll get it yet. That was lovely, and thank you so much. Message was very inspiring. The sacred reading this morning is from Philippians 4, verses 6 through 7, as read by Kevin Ayers from the Common English Bible.
Don't be anxious about anything. Rather, bring up all your requests to God in your prayers and petitions, along with giving thanks. Then the peace of God that exceeds all understanding will keep your hearts and minds safe in Jesus Christ. Thus ends the reading.
Good morning. I'm Pastor Jim Morandi, and I've been asked to come in and preach today, which I'm happy to do so. And the reason I chose this passage from Philippians is because anxiety seems to be really rife in our own personal lives today. Coming out of the pandemic, the lockdown for 2 years, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you get into your car and drive, I'm a little anxious when I do it. And just coming outside and being with people, I'm a little anxious. And so it's really important to acknowledge that anxiety. And the way we can work with it in a positive way is to really invite God into the deepest part of ourselves. We breathe in God. We breathe in the Spirit. And if we can do that, just that act of asking the Spirit, the God, to come into our life when we take a deep breath and hold it and let it out, there's a sense of calmness. Try it. Take a big breath in. Hold it. Let it out. Do you feel that calmness coming in? If you do it several more times, you get even calmer. And I notice every week I have to drive out to Fontana. It's a 75 mile an hour drive. No, it's a 75-mile drive. During the pandemic going out there, I work with a group of NA people out there for the Diocese of Los Angeles. We have like 12 NA meetings that are out there, and some of the people that come to those meetings come out of the prison system in San Bernardino. And you know, some people actually have recovery. I say some because recovery is a very difficult thing to achieve in your life if you're having a problem with alcohol or with narcotics or anything that you can be addicted to. You know, anxiety can be very addicting. And so one of the things I've learned in driving out to Fontana, when it wasn't so crowded during the pandemic, you could always see the person behind you that's coming up really fast and kind of move over a little bit. But now, it's very crowded and congested going out there. So what do? I really pay attention. And I really have learned how to kind of breathe in God. And by breathing in God, I actually can make a decision, not out of anger or fear, but I make a decision to drive better, to pull over, slow down. And it's a real journey. It's 75 miles out, 75 miles back. And by the time I get back at the end of the day, it's exhausting. And I can spend time when I get home to quietly invite God into my life, into my heart. It's about extending an invitation to God, to the Spirit, to come deep within and to provide that relaxation. Prayer is very important. Prayer can reduce the anxiety that we're feeling in our lives today. When I went to seminary back in 1975, it was an Episcopal seminary called the General Theological Seminary. It's in New York, in Manhattan. When I first got there, it takes up a whole square block on 20th Street and 9th Avenue, 8th and 9th Avenue, 20th and 21st Street. And they have a beautiful stone chapel there. And I went into it. It had bronze doors. And I went, wow, this is really great, you know, the whole chapel. It's pretty big. And I closed the doors and I sat there to meditate. And I took a breath in and I let it out. And what did I hear? Trash trucks. There had been a trash strike when we got there, and trash was up on the sidewalks. They were everywhere. And you could just hear all the noise outside being in New York, in Manhattan. And I laughed because I'm going, well, how can you meditate with all this noise going on? But you can. You can actually train yourself to look beyond the noise. Can I have my thermos? I need a little water. To look beyond the noise. You can't do two things at once, it turns out. Your brain won't let you think one thing and do another thing. I mean, it will let you do that, but you can't focus on two things at once. You can focus on one thing. And if you focus on your prayer and your meditation, you can go beyond the noise that's around you. when you turn inward to pray and to meditate, there's a lot of internal noise at times that takes you from that spiritual environment that you're trying to achieve. Your brain starts going, oh, what about this? I forgot to do that. I didn't send this out. You get a list of things you forgot to do. And you have to learn how to set that aside. You'll get back to it, but spend that time with God. I've learned some things in addiction with the people that I work with out in Fontana. I didn't know that a 12-step program was a spiritual program. It's about having a relationship with a God of your own understanding. That was new to me. I didn't get that in seminary. And I heard something else was that prayer was talking to God and meditating was listening to God. I didn't get that in seminary either. Prayer is talking to God, is petitioning God. And meditation, when you're connected in, is listening to God's response. And it takes time. We have an inner GPS, an inner guidance system that is a spiritual, we're at the depth of who we are. We're spiritual beings having a time here on earth before we go back. I also work in hospice as a spiritual counselor. So I work with people who are terminally ill and who are going, what I say, from here to there. And one of the things working in hospice I found is that a lot of people don't believe in God. And I started asking them, so what do you think happens when you die? And they go, it's just like anesthesia. You black out, you're done. And I went, really? That's what you think? I had in the mid-'70s, I read a really influential book by Raymond Moody called Life After Life. And he is a psychiatrist who had patients who had near-death experiences. And he compiled all these experiences that came into the white light, going down a tunnel, meeting a spiritual being at the other end, and having a conversation. Was it time to come back, or was it time to go on? Most of the time, the people came back, and they reported what happened. Now, at the time, people were going, well, that's just the brain. That's just the brain, lack of oxygen. Nothing to it. And you fast forward to today, and there's just so many stories that are even coming from medical people in the field, like in an emergency room, who people have these experiences, near-death experiences, that they come back and report. It's really quite fascinating. And I really believe that we are greeted by a fantastic love and light. Whether it's Jesus, the Spirit, God. To me, God is so great that I don't know if I want to meet him personally, because he's the creator, and we're his creatures. But here we are today, opening ourselves up to that love and that light that God brings to each and every one of us. If we take the time to breathe it in and to let it out. If we can do that morning, noon, and night, we begin to learn that we have a reliance upon our Creator. A reliance that takes us into ways that opens our lives to this unbelievable reality, the spiritual reality that's around us all the time. But when we're anxious, we hold everything in. And we can't see the beauty of our Creator, of God, which we find in our families, which we find in strangers that we meet in our daily life. It's all around us. It's like a fish in water. It says, I believe in the reality of water, but I just don't know if it exists. I mean, really, I don't know. The fish is sitting there breathing in the water. It's around when he wasn't sure. It's like us at times. We're breathing in the Spirit, and then when we get anxious, we go, well, we don't know. Do not be anxious. We are in charge of that. God gave us that gift. Look beyond the noise of the trash trucks. Stay true to that risen Christ, that reality that we share every day. And coming here to church, I applaud you all for being here. And I want to thank those who are on the virtual. It's not Zoom, is it? It's more like YouTube, Facebook. Yeah. Is that all the same? I don't know. I'm old. I'm learning. But the reality is that we all have this immense sixth sense. It's our spiritual sense. You know, it's just like our ego of who we are just comes, makes this little head above. What I'm trying to say is our ego understands what it is to live life every day. But the spiritual part of our being, the ego is only a part of what's in life, and there's a great depth underneath it all, which is our spiritual life. I know I'm not probably explaining it as well as I should, but there is such a depth of this spiritual reality that we miss. So coming out of the pandemic, being anxious, we learn how to work with it by coming to church, going to the grocery store, doing things, with the family, doing whatever it takes. We start coming out and coming back into a fuller life again. It's our point of contact. How do we have a point of contact with God? This is how we do it. Just breathe God in. Feel the presence. And let it out slowly. The first church I ever worked at was St. Albans Episcopal Church. It's across from UCLA. And I had both the duties of being the chaplain to UCLA for the Protestant and Catholics that were over there, and also working in the parish life there. And working over in the hospital, two things really happened while I was there for 7 years. One was a woman who I'd been going over and having prayers with, and one day I came in and she was in a coma. And for about 3 weeks, I came in and out, just had a prayer, and went to see the other patients that were there. And one day I came into her room, and she's kind of sitting up with a smile on her face, and I went, "Oh, you're back." She said, "Yes." And I had this most amazing experience. And I go, "What was it?" She said, "I was somewhere where there was a river, there was green grass on the other side, there were mountains, and it was beautiful. And all my friends and family, people who I knew, were over on the other side saying, 'Maureen, come on, we're waiting for you, come on.'" And I went, "That's amazing. What did you say?" And she said, "Thank you, but not yet." But she died 3 days later, and before she died, she said, "I'm not afraid to die, because I know what's waiting for me." Thank you for sharing that story. And the next story I have was, was I made a wrong turn at the hospital, and I turned into the oncology ward. And I opened up these doors, and there was 3 young girls there. They're about 14, 15. And as soon as I walked in there, I understood where I was. They were cancer patients, had shaved heads, and they looked at me, and they could see that I had this like, ugh, look on my face, and they went, "It's okay, it's okay. Come on in." And one of them took my hand and walked me over to the other girls there. And their mothers were looking at me like, "What's wrong with this guy?" You know, I'm here in my collar, and I didn't know how to respond. And they said, "We're in a cancer treatment program, and we may die. But it's okay. We are just here to see if we can get better." But I was a mess, you know. I finally excused myself, and I had to go outside, and that's early on in my ministry. You get things that hit you, you're not prepared for. And certainly when you're dealing with children and cancer, you're not prepared for that. But I learned. And today, as I say, I work with hospice patients. I work in psychology. I work in working with addicts. The thing is, do you believe your point of contact with God? Do you feel that sense of contact with your higher power? Are you allowing that to come into your life today? This is what this is all about. This is why we're here, is to come into contact with God. Again and again and again. I don't know if you're like me, I have to be reminded constantly because I forget. Forget easily. I had emergency surgery 10 months ago. I retired from the Episcopal Church at 72. You're retired. And I still work for them, though, out in Fontana. But I had emergency surgery for my neck. And I all of a sudden I really couldn't move. I couldn't tie my shoelaces. I couldn't button my buttons. And they gave me an MRI and said, "Oh, here's the problem. You have a protrusion in your neck that's pushing against your spinal cord." I went, "Okay." So we'll do emergency surgery. You can't move, you got to do it, and that's that. That night, on the 22nd of November, I prayed. I prayed that everything would go well, because you're going in there and you're putting in rods, you're taking something out and you're putting in rods and screws. Not something you want to face all the time, but what else could I do? And in my prayer, I heard, "It's going to be okay. Your doctor's going to be fine. Your nurses are going to be good. You are at the right place at the right time. It's going to be okay." That's my 2 a.m. prayer. I prayed and I listened, and I really believed what I heard. And the next day I had the 4-hour surgery. Spent about 3 days in the hospital, and here I am. Still kind of getting over it all. You're kind of a little stiff. Your nerves are kind of not functioning properly yet. Your head's a little tight. My neck definitely is a lot better. I gotta say, it's amazing what they can do today in surgery. But God, for me, was all a part of that. God uses the doctors. God works through that whole situation. And here I am to say, thank you, God. Thank you for, I guess it's my 72-year maintenance tune-up. And here I am. And I'm really happy to be with you all here today. You're a special congregation. The music program that you have here, the lay readers that you have, the person working, Phil, back there, who's working how this all happens. That's the gift of God coming in here and making things happen because people want to volunteer, people want to do something, and God can work through you. If there's no action, God can't work through us. We have to be willing to allow that to happen. And it's happening. We have a hybrid service, we have a congregation, we have wonderful music, everybody's participating. So be not anxious. Know that God is with you and with us. I give thanks for all of you being here today. I give thanks for Julie, and God bless you all. Thank you.
I was just going to say now is the time in the service when we share our joys and concerns, but first of all, I want to thank Pastor Jim very much for being here and for his wonderful message and for all he did half of my opportunities to serve for the volunteers that we have here. That makes everything so special. Now is the time to share our joys and concerns that brought us to us in worship this morning. Let's listen to what your brothers and sisters have to say. From Betsy Irmgard, Hagel is now in Lake Balboa Care Center in Van Nuys. Hopefully she will become strong enough to return home. Cards sent to her home or the care center will help cheer her up. Lake wanted to remember Clergy Sunday today. Aha, is it Clergy Sunday today? Oh, okay, well, best wishes for the folks that lead our worship. Yes, indeed. From Jean, please pray for my friend and her family who are going through difficult times. Also, please pray for Patrick, who experienced a severe heart attack. Oh, I'm sorry, it's from Joan. Sorry. And this one isn't signed. Love and abiding peace for all of the world. Amen. Do we have any? Okay.
Yes, we have one here from Lake. Prayers for Oscar, one of my caregivers. He's having an operation tomorrow.
Ooh. So remember all of the joys and concerns that we've been sharing and send prayers to all of those folks. As we remember these joys and concerns, let us go into a short time of silent prayer with our sung song, Deep Peace. When we finish, we will hold a time of silence in place of communion. There will not be communion today.
Peace, peace, deep peace, my peace I give to you. Peace, peace, deep peace, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, I give to you. Not as the world gives, I give to you. Peace, peace, deep peace, my peace I give to you.
Dear God, as we gather this day, we celebrate the love that you have blessed us with. We know there are many things that go on in our lives, great joys and deep sorrows. Grant each of us the strength to deal with those challenges and the wisdom to celebrate the joys. We give thanks for the many ways in which you support us on our journey, one of which is through the prayer that Jesus left with his followers, a prayer that we now all lift together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Each week, we here at WHCC are blessed to have 3 ways we can live out our faith. First, you can financially support the ministries of the church by texting WHCC to 833-575-1738. Second, you can sign up to receive the weekly emails and other special notifications. And I urge you, if you have not done so, to do so, because during this time of transition, you will stay up to date on what's going on in the church as we look for a new pastor and an interim pastor and all the changes that we're going through now. Please text WHCC at 42828. Third, you can get involved in the life of the church as a volunteer. You can do that by contacting our volunteer coordinator, Jeannie Mowers, at her email, whccvolunteercoordinator@gmail.com. And I just want to take a minute to thank all of you that do volunteer. As Pastor Jim said, we have all these remarkable people that volunteer their time and their talents. Thank you so much. And if you are thinking that you might have time to volunteer and have a talent to share, we would love to have you do that. Gina has a message about Pastor Craig's amazing send-off party.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And Jim, thank you so much for the message today. You and I have not met, but I have to say your sermon could not be more helpful in extending the message that I want to share, that there is a time and a place when every single one of you, in some way of your choosing, will be able to participate through your action to express how much we care about the last 13 years of the life of Craig Peterson, who has led us and taught us, inspired us, shared our joys and our sorrows with us, and now we celebrate with each other the fact that we have all grown to the point that he is ready to accept a call of a greater responsibility than our congregation, and trust that we will carry on. So we are having a farewell celebration on the 30th of October. Those watching their internet or whatever it is that you're using for communication that is not here in the sanctuary, you are welcome to join us. There is a way that you can participate by helping to sponsor a farewell luncheon, which will go toward the costs of the luncheon, where everyone here and all of those people who have participated in various programs that are extended through Woodland Hills Community Church, such as our AA groups, of which there are many, our nursery school, which is extensive and has reached to all parts literally of the world with the nursery school students that have come out of it over the years. We have a lot here. There's a lot going on. And Craig has held us together and helped to expand that to the point that we are now forming, I think it's still in a present tense forming, we are in the process of forming a nonprofit organization that will extend opportunities to other nonprofit organizations in the community so that we will be able to be a center of peace. And we all can help to participate in this with our gifts and our participation at the luncheon. Please mark that on your calendar. October 30th, right after this service, we will have a luncheon, a very nice luncheon here at the campus. And we need people to sign up to help to provide that luncheon. And we're asking that you sign up on the sheet out by the front doors. It's very simple. If you can work as a server, if you can work as someone who helps to prepare food or to help clean up, whatever it is, that or your gift. Next week there will be a basket for your cards, and there will also be a book where you can sign out by the narthex. And I hope that you find a way that you can participate. There's something there for every single person. And be sure to put down your phone number so that we can call you back and have personal contact and be sure that everyone has a chance to participate in this great celebration that we'll have October 30th. Thank you, and if you like, speak to me after the service.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gina, is the book here today or next week?
Next week.
Gotcha.
There will be a book and a basket
Yeah.
next week, so you can write your own card or sign the book.
As a quick segue onto what Gina was saying, we're putting together a music program just to go alongside the luncheon that we're doing. So if anyone wants to come and be part of that and to say thank you to Pastor Craig for everything that he's done over the last, it's got to be 10 years, 11 years? Is it 12?
13.
13 years.
13.
All right, so please come and see me afterwards if you want to take part in that. It can be anything from music to sharing a story or anything like that. And on Thursday, this Thursday, we're starting up our Thursday Night Lives. We had the first one last week. Please come and see me if you want to take part in Thursday Night Live. And also special music every Sunday. If you'd like to come and sing just as Gracie did this morning, please come and put your name forward for that.
Thank you both. Yes, I did want to mention that if you have, a number of you have been here throughout Pastor Craig's ministry. Thank you, that just wouldn't come. Please let us know if you want to share memories or something that you remember or you want to share. Let Wayne know or let me know. That would be wonderful. It's really going to be a special day, so we're looking forward to seeing you all there. And now let us join together and sing our closing song, Sent Forth by God's Blessing. Wayne is running, as he does between his many things that he volunteers for.
Sent forth by God's blessing, our true faith confessing, the people of God from this dwelling take leave. This is ended, oh now be extended, the fruits of our worship in all who believe. The seeds of the
let us end our time of worship together as we sing our On Eagle's Wings. We'll sing that through twice. Oh, and everybody stand. Thank you, Gina. We should have done that for the song.
And God will reign.